Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Truth-Unspoken. We've been gone for a few weeks, but we've been busy, and we haven't been.
We're back.
Yeah, we're not wasting time. We're not asleep. We actually out here trying to recruit and spread the word and get people to join, bring more awareness. We haven't stopped. We're continuing winning passed out flyers at a few district school district meetings and getting people parents that are already showing up for the battle of the children to save our children. If you don't know, stay at home inaugural. So we had this flyer and we're literally putting it into parents' hands and letting them
Yeah.
know to please join and join the fight, and here's what we're doing, and giving them all the information of the what would you say, the goal of this. And there's people that believe that we're trying to hinder the education of the children, and that's not what we're trying to do at all. What we're trying to do is let parents know that times have changed, and the educational system which you thought we used to have, talking about 30 years ago, is long gone, or let's say 50 years ago, is long gone. And now, the reality of our children going to school and being able to get pornographic books all the way from elementary to high school and read them at will. And then now also, not now, but it's been going on where teachers and therapists are deceiving and misguiding and misleading our children. And so it's not like it used to be. So you still have people that haven't realized that. And so we're just trying to educate those that are unaware, that have children in this public school system. We're only a couple weeks away, and so we're in crunch time right now.
Yep.
So everybody that has been watching, that has been liking and sharing the content, if you can please, share with at least 5 people that you know within
Right.
this next few weeks. You know, we're not even at 100, which is just shocking to me. But I'm praying that
The website's been updated.
the website's been updated.
Yeah.
And so you can go studentstayhome.com. You can go and sign up. Signing up means that you're joining and that you will participate, and you're preparing on what needs to be done. There's some people that need to take time off from work. There are some people that need to share the duty with other parents.
Yep.
A couple days your children can stay with me while I go to work, and a couple days you go to work and I'll take off. However, that's preparation.
Yeah.
And remember, the goal is to get the attention of the state, to get the attention of the school district, to let them know that our children are not theirs. And one thing I've been misquoting, but old data, right? So the old data is it was $50 a day, but actually it's $300 a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they're so adamant. If you notice, if your child is missed that day, your phone is immediately called, probably 2 or 3 times. You get an email about your student having an unexcused absent. And then also, here's some more information: is if you have too many days of your child missing school, the district will charge you back that money that they missed from the state. Oh yeah, that's some more updated information. So that's why it's so big. It's so vital that there's many numbers in this.
Yep. It's all about
Right?
money.
Because you're not gonna be able to do that with 100,000 families,
No.
right? And it's just a week. Remember, the week is for the daily cost, which it changes the numbers. So at first, for 1,000 children, it was at $50 a day. It was 250,000. So if we're going at $300 a day, that's we're over $1 million.
Yeah, we're pushing.
Yeah, we're pushing the close. We're either right at a mil, right underneath it, or a little bit over. Where you do the calculations? No, we're over a mil because if it's 250,000 for $50, and you add $250,
1.5.
yeah, exactly. There we go. We're over a million. Put it like that.
Yeah.
For 1,000 students. Think about that. 1,000. If we can just get 1,000, we'll be over $1 million. Now it may range on what district it is, but here in Southern California, in the district that we're in, it's $300 a day for the child to be in class. So that's one objective, is the daily rate. Then the next objective is for the next semester. So on the 2nd of October, so you see it's 9:30, so it starts on the 30th and goes through the 4th of October. So on the 2nd of October is the statewide census that will be based on the data that they collect as attendance for all the districts, will determine the funding for the next semester or the next school year. And so if we have 1,000 families or 1,000 students that stay out, that's going to affect not only is the daily rate that they lose, the school that is. So meaning, look, we have to understand we're not trying to stop or harm our children's education. What we're trying to do is we're trying to use a tactic that will make these lawmakers and these school districts and school boards that are making decisions contrary to what we're asking. We've been asking, we've been saying we're not accepting this, and it's been ignored for years. We've been at this since 2016, and I'm sure there's others that have been at it longer. But we've been at this since 2016, and never was it heard. We've had over 5,000 signatures. All that was disregarded, and they put the 3 R's, which is the curriculum teaching kindergartners about oral and anal sex. That was all the way in 2016. So now it's just ramped up. It's even more. So, at that time it was that, but now it's way more extreme. We've played videos. We've given many, validated content of real life testimony of parents, and what you've seen where the students are coming home with different undergarments and different books, and without the parents even knowing about it. And so we've already shown all this, and then we've also shown minors that have had operations on them, and now that they've grown and realized what's happened, they're regretting it, and they're asking Congress to stop allowing these laws to be passed. So all this has been given since we started this last October. So we're on this a year now. And so the truth is that we're trying to get those that think our children belong to them to let them have a reality check that our children are ours.
Yep.
And all you're supposed to do and getting paid to do is to educate our children, not to persuade our children and confuse them in their identity.
Yep.
Because no child, and I've said this hundreds of times, if not thousands, no child starts off wanting to be the opposite sex until an adult plants that seed. And then not only do they plant it, but they continue. And so we're gonna play videos, which confirm more confirmation. Remember, this is not a political channel. This is not a religious channel. This is not a conspiracy channel. This is a truth channel, which we're bringing the truth to parents about our children and what we're turning our children over to every day in this public school system. Now, there are some that are fighting back and saying no, but very few, because the penalty of finances, if you don't indoctrinate and incorporate, especially here in California, if you do not incorporate these sick and perverted and mutilating and child abusive tactics to to gain a means of money, then that's what we're pointing out. And so I wanted to be clear because I've been hearing different, some people have been saying that, we don't want to get involved because we don't want to harm the children's education. It's like, man, you gotta get into 2024 and what's really going on, because you're really lost. That we're fighting for our children's education.
Right.
That's the whole point. We're fighting to get it to be how it was. Hey, teach our children about history. Teach
Right.
our children about math. Teach our children about social studies. Teach our children how to read books that's going to help them later on in life.
Right.
Not books showing adults having pornos
Yep.
and teaching children to be perverted and sick and twisted at a baby age. That's that's the whole point, because that's what our education system has turned into. These people have to realize, hey, we've already caught educators and those that are what was one term of that one lady? It was called she was a not just an educator, but she was
Counselor?
no, she was a developer of curriculum.
Okay. Yeah.
So she admitted and said that she's been working all spring and she's going to work all summer on adding more things to eliminate the parents from knowing. So she's saying, I'm working. Now, this is a curriculum educator developer. That's what she was.
Yeah.
A curriculum education developer. So this is someone that writes the curriculum. And she was caught on camera specifically saying, I am working and I will work hard all summer to develop things to keep the parents out of the loop, to blind the parents and not even let them know what's going on. So what they're doing is they're trying to be more efficient at eliminating us.
Yeah.
So how are we trying to harm the child's education when you have education developers and this is their goal?
Yeah.
Now, this stuff wasn't public. She didn't come out and say this so everyone can hear. There were people that were undercover that was videotaping her. And they're called leaks. So these people are saying what's really going on behind the scenes, but they're not knowing that they're being videotaped. Just like the corporate meeting with Disney, with all the Disney developers. And they were caught on that Zoom meeting they had.
Yep.
They said a whole lot of things that they did not think was going to go out publicly.
Yeah. These are previous episodes.
Yeah, well, these are all we've released all this in previous episodes. So if you've been watching and you've been following, then you know everything about everything I just said. And if you know about everything that I said and you've been liking and you've been subscribing and this is moving you. See, this is about to move your heart. This is what this channel is about. We're trying to move people's heart to protect children. Right. That's why I developed this channel. I didn't develop this channel to become popular and have a whole lot of likes so I can get paid by YouTube. That's not what this is about. What this is about is our children that are on the chopping block every single day. Where a counselor, when we drop our children off at 8:30 or 8 o'clock or 9 a.m., that there's someone or multiple people in that school that are waiting for our children to get there just so they can deceive them. Now, there's people that won't believe that, but you're just lost and you're unaware. I don't want to say the word ignorant, but you're unaware of what's going on. And, we have to really pay attention. There are those that are waking up, and it amazes me how many conversations I have when I'm out and about of parents that still don't have any idea. So that's why it's so vital to get this to be shared, and then those that already have channels that have a lot of followers, and you're exposers of darkness and trying to show the wickedness and the injustice that's happening. We need your help too. Because this word needs to get out. Parents need to know. Grandparents need to know. We need to get land so that we can build schools, so that people that can afford to homeschool, because there are people that are just taking their kids out when they find out of these things and they're homeschooling them, and that's great. But then there's a lot of parents that can't do that.
That's correct.
And so we need to develop brick and mortar schools, private and charter schools, that we have the freedom to teach our children education. Education that's going to help them in life. Education that's going to develop them just like how we were. Like I said, everyone in this room, everyone that I know, if you're of a certain age, when we went to school, this is not things we had to face. Now, everyone had to face bullies and people making fun of them, and that's natural stuff. I'm not saying, oh, that's great, but we didn't have to worry about a teacher telling us, you're really a girl. Never. I never had a teacher approach me and say that. Do you want to be a girl, Gabriel? Never. Do you feel like a girl today? Here, I have this dress for you. Try it on. I never went to the kindergarten, first grade, second, all the way to high school. Not one time did that ever. But guess what? This is a daily reality for our children. And why? Money. The more they push this, the more they get paid. This is all about money and confusing. And so today we want to show, some more videos and some more facts. But what I want to show is the Bible talks about training up your child in the way they should go, righteously, right? Teaching our children what's right, teaching our children what to look out for, but giving them a biblical foundation so that they have something to fight with, and they know better, right? Just like we saw the little boy that got shot by the police. He praised God, he worshiped God, and he wasn't afraid. He didn't panic. He didn't do any of those things. He just praised God, and he made it through. He should have died. And then when the announcer, the newscaster tried to give credit to the doctor did his part, but the boy knew God saved me, not the doctor. And so having that understanding, he was 10 years old. So he understood at 10 years old, you couldn't tell him that he was a girl because he knew the word, and the word told him he was a boy. And then he knew much more than that because he knew in the times of trouble, God would help me.
Yeah.
Right? And so we have videos of these different things, of these teachings. So meaning, as parents, we have a responsibility to teach our children, and now we really have to arm them for when they go into school of anybody that's trying to manipulate them, anybody that's trying to sow seeds of deception and deceit in their identity, and anyone that's trying to tell them to keep secrets and lie to their parents, because that's a law in California now.
Yeah.
It's okay for you to lie to your parents, and we, the state, will protect you against your parents. See, we got to understand what's really going on. This is all about money.
Yep.
Governor Newsom is about money, and he's about control. That's it. Right. He's not a public servant for the people. He's about money and control and destroying families. And anybody that supports him, you're in agreement with destroying families. I don't care what your argument is or what it is. That's a fact. Because anyone that's sane and in their right mind could never encourage a child and deceive a child and confuse a child. That's child abuse.
Right.
And I keep saying that. And the CPS, we're going to see in this, the CPS is involved because they want to check too. For every child they get a check. People need to understand that. I worked in a group home. I managed a group home with 13 boys from the age of 8 years old to 17. And I seen the everyday effects of the foster care. So I know what it is. Right? Anyways, there was a lot of different things going on. But guess what? At the end of the day, for each one of those children, that company that I worked for got $16,000 a month per child. So it's profitable in taking children from their families. It's profitable from separating and destroying families. You can make a profit of it. Now, most of us can't even conceive that, but there are people that have developed and continue to add more to execute in making that more efficient and making that money flow stronger and more. So we got to really pay attention. So this is not about taking away from educating the kids and taking away education programs. That's not what this channel is about. This channel is, like I continue to say, protecting children and letting these people that are making these laws and making these legislations and making these curriculums, letting them know our children belong to us. Okay, so let's go ahead. The first video we're going to play is of a mother that actually had her child taken from her in California because she would not support her daughter in going into the LGBT people, sick and twisted people, that group.
I mean, it was devastating, and it ruined my life. I mean, I lost my husband, but this was worse than losing my husband. Yeah, because I had my rights taken away.
I'm Elizabeth Mitchell, and I sat down with a mom in California who lost her 14-year-old daughter to the California foster care system after she would not allow her to transition into becoming a boy.
My daughter was really rebellious. She had a girlfriend. Unfortunately, I had discovered that a girlfriend had sexually done some things to her. And as protective measures, I kind of kept my daughter away from this girl, and she became very rebellious. And at that point, it was really strange. It just came out of nowhere. It literally came out of nowhere that all of a sudden, I want to be a boy, and I feel suicidal. I was concerned, so I called the police, and they came out, and they checked her out. The officer was like, well, you should just be, more accepting of your daughter, I mean, I'm involved with the LGBTQ, community, and I think you should just be accepting. And so that's how it all started. And then the PEP team identified that she wasn't suicidal, but yet this officer went outside with the PEP team, had a conversation with them after my conversation with her, and they decided to take her. And then it became this thing where she became really angry with me because I was keeping her away from this girlfriend. And then, so she was trying to figure out a way to get out of my house. And that's where she went to the counselor and said some things about me, got me in trouble. Then I got a knock on the door from CPS saying that I abused her. And so they didn't substantiate that I was abusive or physically abusive. And then she just kept pushing it, saying, my mom won't let me be a guy. She won't go buy me boy clothes. So it became this defiant situation.
Where do you think she got the idea to accuse you of emotional abuse in a situation, and what was that like?
Online. She even admitted it to me later on that she was influenced by people online. What you need to do to get out of your house. If she's not going to let you do what you want to do, then this is what you need to do to get out of your house.
And the accusations of emotional abuse almost cost you your livelihood as a therapist. Could you tell us about that?
Yeah, at that point, I had decided later in life to become a therapist. I'd lost my husband years ago, and it was kind of a dream that I wanted to do. Once my kids were old enough, I wanted to go back to school. And so when the social workers accused me of emotional abuse, they knew that that's what I was pursuing. I felt like they purposely were trying to do anything they could to get that, they call it a khaki hit, on my record so that I could not pursue my career. They gave me 2 counts of emotional abuse. And the second one was because I wouldn't take her to an LGBT center. I found that she was connecting with other kids. I think I made the call, I'm not going to drive you there. And that's when the social worker wanted to interview me. And because I didn't do that, I immediately got a second hit for emotional abuse.
What was it like for your daughter to be in foster care when you knew that she should be in your home?
Oh God, for her, it was awful. She said it was dirty, it was disgusting. And there's nothing I could do about it. That was, where they placed her. she couldn't wait to get out of there, get back home, you know.
Yeah. How did the process go of her getting out of foster care and returning to your house?
I had hired an attorney. CPS had several meetings with me, family meetings, which those were a complete joke. They were never intended to really help the family. It was more just a fact-finding mission of, you know, what can we get against her? You know, it was awful. It was not about reunification. It was more about, like, you know, what can we do to this family to destroy them? I know that sounds, you know, really biased, but that's how I felt at the time.
And what did the attorney do that ultimately ended in the reunification?
Basically, they left it up to my daughter.
And she chose to come back home?
Yeah.
How did things go once she returned? Were things different?
No, they weren't any better. No.
Since your daughter returned to your home and you had these struggles, some years have passed. How are things going now for your family?
There has been a lot of ups and downs since then, where she was kind of going back into it, out of it. She was very rebellious for many years, and then finally she's stabilized. But yeah, our relationship's really good right now.
What was the process like for her to be able to accept that she's a girl?
I think definitely not having a mom that was like, I kept saying, no, you know, you really need to explore this more, because, I mean, look back to your childhood. I mean, there was never any indication of anything different.
Why do you think it's hard to talk about now? Do you think she looks back on it as kind of a regretful, traumatic experience overall?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. She regrets it, what she put me through. I mean, it was devastating, and it ruined my life. I mean, I lost my husband, but this was worse than losing my husband. Yeah, because I had my rights taken away. I've never had anything legal happen to me.
And like you said about your daughter regretting the stage of her life, what do you think about when parents or the state even allow kids to make decisions about these feelings that maybe they're not born in the right body so young, when they can't go back on it, such as getting surgeries or these hormone treatments?
I think it's horrible. I mean, I've seen the interviews of, you know, the kids that have had the surgery and have gone forward and had that support and then regretted it. It's just terrible. I mean, I feel really bad for those families, and that's kind of why I'm here. I mean, it's irreversible.
What was it like to know that these transgender medical interventions are irreversible, but also know that people from child services, maybe the foster family, the LGBT groups, were accepting of your daughter getting these procedures? How was it to be the one responsible for protecting her in that, but having obstacles?
It's incredible. Incredibly hard. Incredibly hard. I wouldn't wish that on your worst enemy. I wouldn't. Yeah.
What types of changes would you like to see to make sure parental rights are protected in a way that yours weren't?
Get the government out of it, you know? It's just let parents parent.
How is the process of restoring trust between yourself and your daughter and your children after the situation?
Oh, extremely difficult. You know, extremely difficult. There is still work to do there.
What advice would you have to other parents who are afraid that their children can be taken away from them if they don't accept them identifying as transgender, even though they have concerns about it down the road?
There are some therapists that don't support the ideology, that just explore it. I would definitely try to see if there's a way that you could get your child, you know, with someone like that could, you know, help them explore what they're going through.
And what role do you think social media played?
Oh, God, huge. I think if there wasn't social media, we wouldn't be having this conversation. No.
Would you recommend that parents don't let their kids on social media in order to prevent things like this from happening?
Well, I definitely limit it, for sure. I think it's really hard to completely limit it. I think it just depends on the age. And I think I wouldn't have given them a phone. If I knew what I knew.
And sometimes we hear stories like this of the government taking children away from parents because of transgender issues ending differently. What would you attribute to your story ending with the reunification of your family?
I mean, I hate to say it, but if I didn't have any money, I wouldn't have been able to do it. And I do put a lot of faith in God too, but I'm just saying that I feel sorry for people that don't have the means to be able to fight it.
And how's your daughter doing now?
She's doing okay. Like I said, she did struggle with chemical dependency, and she kind of struggles, you know, with mental health issues. I do see a progression of it getting better.
Is there anything else that you would like for other families who are going through this to know from your experience as someone who's gotten through it and been able to keep your family together?
Don't give up. You know, don't ever give up. Just keep fighting. That's what I did. I just kept fighting, you know. I finally got the right person to help me too. You know, you got to find those resources. to help you through it. Now I think it's much better. There are some people speaking out against it. There are some resources right now that I didn't have back then. Parents' role is to guide their children best they can, you know, in a healthy manner. And giving a 14-year-old those rights, it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense, you know. Who's a parent for?
A lot of key things said. And number one is we have to fight. And another thing that was said is that if she didn't have the money to get an attorney, she wouldn't have been able to win. Now that's sad that good parents that are trying to raise their children right have to get an attorney to fight to keep their children. When you actually have real child abuse situations, you really have children really being abused out there, being taken and sold and all kinds of sad, horrible stories. But you have good families that our governor is destroying by allowing these deadly, harmful ideologists to come into our schools. And they also admitted that the younger the better. That was what another educator said while they were being secretly recorded. One of them said, you know, we want to go as young as we can because they're more impressionable. This is what a grown adult educator, teacher was saying. The younger we target, the better, because they don't know much and they trust us. So you have adults that are using children's trust and betraying it for a check. And so, like this mother said, we have to guide our children. We have to protect our children from teachers, from therapists, from principals. This is insane. And so, you know, like she said, more people are speaking out now. We're a part of that. But we definitely need many, many more.
Right.
There should be millions speaking out. Every parent that loves their child. Now, you have some parents that don't love their children, but most parents, I would hope and believe, love their children, love them enough to say, you can't have them. Mm-hmm. And see, the one mother, if she had 1,000 other parents to join her, guess what? That struggle wouldn't have been that hard. But when they're picking people off because their parents are unaware or parents are afraid, that this is not the time to be afraid. And this is not the time to be quiet. This is the time to stand up. And the effective way of countering what they're doing is finances. Yeah. We have to understand that. The more schools we build and the more public schools get emptied, that's a tactic of fighting back. The more children we take out of the public school means less money going to that public school. Now listen, this is to jar them to stop.
Yeah.
Because we need the public school system. Because parents have to work. Parents have to take care of their families and provide. Yeah. But there's nothing to provide for when you're going to work and your child is being deceived and your child is being turned against you. So when you get home from work, you have, you have this uproar in the house because of an outside adult that's supposed to be teaching them and helping them to grow is telling them, hey, we're pushing an agenda. And number one, that agenda is to harm you and help destroy your family and help destroy your body so that we can get a check. Excuse me. So, anyways, now we have another video starting at a young age so we can help show parents and help show people out there when they say, what do we do? What can we do? We're going to show a video which explains as far as teaching and training the child so that they're aware and not saying you have the freedom to find out through social mode. That's another thing. Can we put up the social media um, websites or links? See, these are apps. Yeah, apps that. Thank you. These are apps that can control or limit the children,
Yeah.
what they're able to see, what they're able to embark in and partake of. Because you also heard she said, if she didn't have social media, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Yeah.
And she said something that I agree with. Now, I understand children may need phones, because of schedules and stuff like that, but a lot of these phones with young children, I mean, let's think about it. When I was in school, we didn't have phones.
Right.
And I still got picked up, every day. I still made it home every day. 50 years ago, when kids went to school, they didn't have phones. So how did we go from, okay, we're able to, drop our children off, pick our children up, know where we're going, everything that's going on. This is not something new, right? So if the generations in the past were able to do it, just because we have technology, doesn't mean that we need to use that technology at a young age, right? Now I believe when they come home and they have tablets and stuff like that, then okay, that's okay with a monitoring and limited interaction, because there's also been studies shown about these kids being on these phones and these tablets and how it's affecting eyesight, it's affecting brain activity, so although there's some good things, there's a lot of bad as well.
Right.
So I believe in everything in moderation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you heard the mother say it. If she didn't give her a phone, she wouldn't. It would have saved her money. It would have saved her from her own child being taken from her.
Yeah.
So simple adjustments we can make to save our children. One of them is holding them back from school for a week so that these people can know, hey, our children are ours. Stay at home. Inaugural. Students stay home. Inaugural. Support of parents' rights. That's what this channel is about. Supporting of parents' rights and fighting for our children's education. Not trying to harm their education, but fighting for them to have an education. Okay, let's play the next video.
I knew one day we were going to have this conversation. There are people in this world who are lost, okay? They don't know the Lord, okay? They're just lost souls, okay? We got to pray for them. So there will be guys acting like girls or wanting to be girls, and there will be girls acting like guys and wanting to be guys, okay? There are some guys that they really think they're a girl, and there are some girls that think they're a guy. They're not happy with the gender they are, and a gender means male or female. You're a male, right? And I'm a female. But we don't do that, okay?
Okay.
We don't dress up like other genders. We don't do that type of stuff, okay?
Okay.
We gonna always be ourselves. You understand me?
Yes, ma'am.
You want to wear heels like that, man? And put a wig on?
No.
Hey, girl, that's what you want?
No. And I don't want to wear a purse either. I want to be the regular way I am and still get even haircuts and just be a boy myself.
You're a boy. That's how God made you. You understand me?
Yes.
You don't change what God created you to be. Do you understand me?
Yes, ma'am.
God is not okay with that. God said that there is man and there is woman. He didn't say that men can turn into women and women can turn into men. That's not what it is, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Cute little boy. So just to give some clarification, how that conversation started wasn't just that the mother just started talking about that. If you read the captions, it was saying on the way to the barber shop for him to get a haircut, he saw a man dressed up as a woman with high heels and a purse. So then he asked his mother. See, this is natural and this is normal.
Yeah. Right.
Right? So we can get down to the nitty gritty is This is natural and this is normal. Every child that's not been taught opposite naturally is going to do that.
Right.
Because I've had children ask me this same question. I've had my son ask me these same type of questions. So when children, the little boy knows he's a boy. And guess what? He knows a man is supposed to be a man. So when he sees a man dressed up as a woman, he's confused.
Yep.
So he asked his mother, who's to guide him and protect him and tell him truth. Mommy, why is a man dressed up as a woman? Now, guess what? The adults at these schools, their answers are, he is really a woman. He's not really a man. So now that child is severely confused, and you just perform child abuse. That's abuse when you manipulate a child that is seeking understanding, and you lie to manipulate intentionally. That is child abuse. So any normal child, all children, any child, when they see that, when they see this LGBTQ agenda being pushed in demonstration, they're going to ask because it's opposite of what they already know naturally.
Yep.
He already knows a man is to be a man and his mother is his mother. So when he asked his mother told him the truth. You're going to see that. And they're lost. And we need to pray for them. She didn't say, hate them. She didn't say, oh, we're xenophobic, xenophobia people, and we hate those. She didn't say any of that. And if you read the caption, she said, I respect the LGBTQ. I don't support them. So let's make this clear. Any adult that wants to do that for their life, I don't have no problem with that. That's your choice. The problem is you adults that are trying to teach our children that that's normal, and that you're trying to persuade and sway them in that way and manipulate and deceive and abuse them.
Yep.
That's what I have a problem with, and that's why I created this channel. So I'm against any adult that is in that lifestyle that is leading and manipulating children into that, which will lead them into being cut and chopped up by doctors who do not care and only see dollar signs.
Yep.
And insurance companies that approve it and pay for it. That's what I'm against. So, see, the deception is if you speak against them, that you hate them, or you're a racist or a narcissist and a bigot and all these things. No, we're child protectors.
Yeah. Right.
That's what we are.
Yes.
We see through the deception and the lie that this is a equality thing. No, it's not. There's nothing equal. There's nothing in equality about lying and manipulating children. And these gay parades where Disney's paying for men to ride around in public in the daytime, naked, and bring children to that. No. These people are really lucky my father's not alive. He would really have something to say about this, and he wouldn't care what anybody says.
Yeah.
But because he's a father,
Yeah.
and he doesn't believe, he believes in if you want to harm a child, he's an old school Marine, and they dealt with things differently. Now that's a different. I'm just saying, there's a generation that, there was a time where this couldn't even exist.
Yes.
It couldn't exist.
No.
Because you had real patriots, you had real parents, and you had you didn't have as many wicked pushings and promotions and promoting these sick things, we didn't have as much as that. But now it's everywhere. And you have big corporations and you have politicians that should be writing laws to protect us, not writing laws based on insurance policies and based on how much money they're going to get for as many numbers they can get in to get chopped and cut up. So anyways, I wanted to give we're here to give truth, and we're here to give understanding of what we're dealing with, what we're going up against, and what we have to do. So Stay at Home Inaugural is coming up in 2 weeks. Please go to the website. Please send this information out.
Yes.
Send the website out, studentstayhome.com. Send that out to all your contacts that are parents and grandparents. Everybody that's watched this, every contact in your phone that has children and they love their children and they don't agree with this, what's happening in our schools, please send them this information, please. It's for the children. It's not for me. It's for our kids. So please join, please become active, watching and pushing a thumbs up, but you don't send it to nobody. That's not really, you're actually part of the problem. And I'm not trying to be mean this is a truth channel. If you're not trying to help save the children by just sending out the information, then that's one of the reasons why we're in the situation that we're in. So anyways, thank you for all of those that are supporting. Thank you for all those that are sending out the website and the link and subscribing and liking and sharing. God bless you. We appreciate you and thank you. And we'll see you on the next. Oh, yeah, I got to give some scripture. We can't end without the scripture. Okay, it's a quick one. Isaiah 1:17. It says, learn to do right, seek justice, relieve the oppressed, and correct the oppressor. You see that? That's exactly what we're doing. That's exactly what we're doing. And every single episode, we're giving scripture that lines up with what we're dealing with today. So that means the Bible is alive. Because we're dealing with these issues. Those that don't know, learn to do right. This is the right thing. For those that don't know or not, this is something right. There are a lot of things wrong, but this is right. Seeking justice, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to seek justice for our children that are being oppressed and abused and deceived and mutilated. And defend the fatherless. Plead for the widow. Help those that the single moms. The widows that lost the father. That's another key thing that happened in the first video, is that family lost their father. So there needs to be a man, there needs to be a father that steps in to help the family. Help teach, help understand, help correct, let them know the truth. That this is an ideology that's killing our country and trying to kill the world. But there's a lot of countries that won't even accept it, so they don't even deal with it. And they have severe consequences when you push these type of issues. If you're trying to do this in another country, it wouldn't happen. You can't do this stuff in Russia. And they're communists and this. Yeah, that's true, but there's certain things that they're not allowing you to manipulate and deceive and kill children.
Right.
And hack them up and get a paycheck.
No.
So, hey. Anyways, God bless you. We'll see you next week here on another episode of the Truth Unspoken.